coming to you on this marvellous Sunday evening. How was everybody? Everybody missed the football yesterday? Well, those of you who are County fans would have. Any Forest Green fans we got on here would have also missed it. A couple of non-leaguers, a couple of Scottish games as well, but the rest of the country got going. Interesting day of football today. Arsenal beating for the first time in 23 games. Liverpool beating Man United 3-1. Chelsea keeping in touch with the top couple. Chelsea keeping in touch with the top couple by winning at Brighton. That's in the Premier League. I haven't checked the European scores. But I know Celtic lost. Did Rangers win today? That's a bloody good question. Did Rangers win? I didn't see whether Rangers won. If any of you are out there, if you could check to see what the Rangers score was, I was too busy watching the Liverpool game and travelling around for my free meal from my parents' place today. So, yes, there we go. So, nothing yet. Is everybody having a good weekend? There we go. Bowery. Is everybody having a good weekend? There we go. Bowery. Good old Bowery. Do you think I'll have a good chance of getting lesser tickets from general sale? I don't know, mate, is the honest answer. I don't know what the interest is going to be. Tottenham was a big one because of Tottenham are a bigger club. Leicester, on the other hand, it really depends on the interest, mate. It really does. It's just a matter of sitting back, waiting for the season ticket sales to go through, then the MK Dons tickets to go through, and then we'll see, mate. We'll see from there. But there we go. Only 5 of you in, although I did start this a little bit early. There's a few people who may be waiting until 7 o'clock hits to actually come in. Although I do want to fill this chat right out. Let's get the subscribers up because I want to start getting in the mood for giveaways again. You know what I mean? I want to start giving away some more free shit. So the more people we get involved with the channel, the more people get watching this every Sunday, the more generous I'm going to be. Simple as that, guys. It is as simple as that. What a game versus Wrexham. Yes, Joel. I mean, we haven't got a game from yesterday to talk about, so we talk about the last game, Wrexham. But just remember, though, guys, this isn't just a Newport County chat. This is an anything goes when it's football related chat. So feel free to bring up anything football related, and I'm willing to talk about it. And feel free to answer each other's questions, of course. It's like, for example, if someone might think they know better than me on Byri's question, feel free to drop in and answer it for me. Liverpool solid win today, absolutely. But Wrexham was a cracking game for us, 4-0. Didn't expect to win by that much, but I enjoyed it nonetheless, of course. Liverpool absolutely destroyed Man United today. Didn't look like, at one point, it didn't look like they were going to get the win. Sorry, guys. Looked like they were only going to get a draw. But Shaqiri come on and made the impact. Max made a bit of a joke calling yesterday's game off for 20 minutes until kick-off. Should have called it off on the first pitch inspection. Given the forecast, given the fact there was water sitting on the pitch at that point anyway, could have called it off. Plenty of time for Milton Keynes fans to turn around home and not get wet. Could have called it, plenty of time for County fans to stay in the pub or stay at home if they were walking down from, walking distance from their house and all that. Yeah, I agree. The referee should have done a little bit better with that one. So, 13 of you in. Not a lot of you talking. Surely, there we go. Rich. Views on Arsenal defeat today. It was a bit... I think if I was an Arsenal fan, the first thing that would come into my head would be, is Emery our manager or is Wenger still manager? That's exactly... That there is a perfect case of when Arsenal used to lose games under Wenger. It was exactly like that. Feel for the MK Dons fans who travel 2.5 hours. They'll have to come back on a Tuesday night now. Personally, I don't feel for them because MK Dons are a club that I despise. Not the people. The people, yeah, I feel sorry for the people, but I don't feel sorry for the club in one little bit. It's an absolute joke that they've been allowed to have that club in MK Dons. At the end of the day, they're Wimbledon. So as far as I'm concerned, there's 2 Wimbledon teams, and MK Dons are Wimbledon, the original Wimbledon. Liverpool is trying to buy another centre-back. Do Liverpool need another centre-back, though? I mean, they got Van Dijk, Matip, Lovren, Gomez. I mean, do they need another centre-back, really? I don't know. I might be talking shite, but if I was Liverpool, I don't think there's anywhere that they need. I mean, they've got a quality goalkeeper in there. They've got right backs. They've got left backs. They've got plenty in centre midfield. They've got plenty of firepower going forward. I mean, do Liverpool need any players at the moment? Oh, sorry guys. Are you watching the darts on Sky Sports this year? Now, I don't tend to watch darts. I don't tend to enjoy. Well, I do enjoy watching the darts, but for some reason I don't go out of my way to watch it. I should really, though, shouldn't I? It is quite a spectacle, you know. Fair play, Matchroom Sports. They've made something of that sport, you know, and it's absolutely thriving, and the atmosphere there is unbelievable. So I wouldn't mind going to watch it, you know, actually going to the actual place. But the only thing, I don't drink anymore, and you can see everybody there gets absolutely steamboats. So it wouldn't be the kind of thing that I think I would enjoy, you know, because I'd be sober. Everyone else is going to be dancing around. There's me nursing on a coke and all that. Right. Um, okay, so it's quite quiet tonight, guys. 6 minutes in, only 18 of you in, only 4 likes as well. There we go. What happened to MK Dons fans has happened to a lot of fans, including County fans, is football and rain don't mix. Fair one. It's happened to us. I remember going all the way down to Woking on a Tuesday night, and then there was just a burst of a snowstorm, and the game got called off. Shit happens, guys. You know. I mean, they travelled down. At least they got the day out. They got to visit Newport as well. You know, surely that's a bucket list tick on the old bucket list. You know. Come on the port. Evening to you too, my friend. How's it going? Who's seen our design for the Leicester City flag that we're going to be trying to do? I mean, right, okay. I'm going to try and play around with a couple of things on here now. I mean, there's a few settings on here that I've never really looked to explore. But then I can change some things here. Whoa. Shit, look at that. That's messed up, that is. Good God. I look scary as fuck, don't I, you know? Hey, there we go. Vintage. We got some vintage on the go here, guys. I mean, this one looks interesting. Dance party. Yeah. Here we go. Let's get the music going. Go back to normal. Didn't realise that existed. Wow. Anyway, so there we go. Liverpool going to win the league. Now, I've said from the beginning, Liverpool will take the Premier League. Man City are going to have the season in the Champions League. I think Man City will be a Champions League front runner like Liverpool were last year. Liverpool will end up taking the title because when it comes down to the crunch during you know, the sort of Easter Champions League games, I think Liverpool may fall out of the Champions League. Depends who they get though, really. But I just think Man City are going to go for far in the Champions League and Liverpool will take the Premier League this year. Arcade are staying up this year. Nearly completed the comeback on Saturday. I've got a funny feeling they're going to, you know. I really have got a funny feeling that they're going to just replace Swansea because what they need to do in January is spend some money. They need to spend some money. And if they spend wisely, I think they will stay up. By Beckford, what kind of team do you think Leicester would put out? Good question. I don't think they're going to take this for granted, given what happened to Leeds and Tottenham when they came into the parade. I personally think it'll be a strong team. They put a first team out. You know, they might give one or two a rest, but it's not going to be. No, I don't think that's gonna. I don't think they're gonna put a weak team out, you know, at all. Tottenham didn't, and we need to beat them. So you never know. Rob Priest, didn't you go to Chesterfield last season, Chris? That was the last postponement. I was on my way there. Yes, I got as far as Lichfield before we turned around. So yeah, it happened to us last season, and he forgot about that. Well remembered, Rob. Thank you for that. Hopefully Newport's pitch will be okay. Yeah, it's fine, mate. Pitch will be fine. I hope there's not as much problems with Leicester tickets like there was with Spurs. I don't think the demand is going to be as high. It's going to be high, but it's not going to be as high as Tottenham. So I don't think it's going to be quite as bad. Do you know what kind of wages the county players are on? Who's the biggest earner, etc.? Now, it's not public knowledge, exact earnings. I think it's like a confidentiality thing between player and club. Club are not allowed to release what players are on, but you can have a guess, an educated guess on who's the highest earners. Like for example, you got Joe Day will probably be on a high wage. Jamil Matt will probably be on a high wage. Josh Sheeran will probably be on a high wage. Whereas Tyler Forbes might be on a bit of a lower wage. I don't know. Who else? Jay Folston will obviously be on a lower wage. And you get what I mean. You can work it out from players who played for bigger clubs before, who would have been on high wages before. But I'd say on average, I'd say you're looking at somewhere between 800 and 1,200 pound a week for the average player. The better players would be 1,500. The exceptional players would be more closer to 2,000. But then your bigger names in the division would be 3 to 4,000, depending on budgets and things like that. Chris Jones, need a big breakfast with a burger at the bottom. I see who Chris Jones is now. Yes. And we need to start talking about lubrication as well, of course. But the burger at the bottom. Now, for those of you who know Queensway Meadows Industrial Estate, there's a catering place there just outside of Halo Foods, just as you turn in opposite Motor Point. And for me, they're the best burger van or like catering van in all of Newport. They are absolutely banging. And their big breakfast, £4.50. I think it might be a fiver now, but it's still worth it. It's like a full breakfast. You eat that, and there's a burger at the bottom, an actual burger at the bottom that's sucked up all the juices from everything else. And you eat that burger, and you get the full meat sweats for the full weekend, and you get what I call the anal leakage, which is like, when you drop your guts and it smells, but then you just produce that smell continuously, involuntarily, of course. So the big breakfast with the burger at the bottom, but the full house breakfast is absolutely amazing on there, and so is everything else. So it's Joel. Can't wait for Leicester. Me too. Labardi will be high. Labardi will be high-ish, I'd imagine. Yeah. Joe Day is highest, been told. I think Joe Day was obviously the only player who's left from the squad that Justin Edinburgh left behind. I know Justin Edinburgh organised a big wage for him. I know that much, but I don't know how much he's on. I'm on the board. Newport RFC played at Rodney Parade today, so the pitch isn't that bad. Yeah, it isn't that bad, actually. I've seen some pictures. Chris Jones love a lube, don't we all, mate? And at least Charlie Cooper is gone. Yep. Those of you who watched my vlog from the week, the Carlsberg week, we obviously knocked bitter rivals Wrexham out of the cup to set ourselves up for a big tie against Leicester, and Charlie Cooper got sent packing. And I said to him, I said, if he is watching this, it's nothing personal. And he would have tried his best for us, but he just wasn't good enough. I miss Charlie Cooper, yeah. Well, so someone's got to give us a laugh, haven't they? There we go. Can we reach 15 likes? So 23 if you win. We're on 9. We need 6 of you who haven't liked already. Just 6 of you to get us up to that 15 target. And I tell you what, we get up to that 15 target, I will extend by 5 minutes. How's that? Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, Luke Wilkins. Childhood friend, Pistoni or Banana Head. They were nicknames for 2 of the lads we used to play football with. And yeah, Banana Head was quite quite cool one, because when you're kids, you're a cruel little fucker, ain't you? And there we go. One more like to get the 15, but Pistoni, fuck's sake. Basically, we're talking about Pistoni was a boy who smelt a piss. He had weird looking toes and weird looking knees. So the combination of all three was, who remembers Pistoni, the defender who played, the Italian defender who played for Everton, and that was his nickname, Pistoni, because he had weird toes, weird knees, and he smelled piss. So Banana Head was a poor boy who was born with a bit of a disfigurement. But I know that sounds really, really cruel, but he was a bit of a dickhead to people when he was younger as well. So, we just took the piss out of him because he was a knob. Bobby Beckford, you made some good chants on Tuesday. I was sat in the Bisley stand and everyone was laughing. Yeah, we done all right, didn't we? But Bobby, you got to get yourself over into the Hazel with us now. We got, you got to be contributing to these chants. We need to get as many people in that section as we can to make as much noise as we can. The better the noise, the better we get out of the players. The better the experience for the people around us as well. The people, the newbies, or the every now and thens, who will start coming back more often. We got to get the place rocking. It benefits everyone if we get a good atmosphere going, you know what I mean? So, Now we are 15 minutes in. We've surpassed 15 likes, so we're going to go on for 35. But we only got 23 of you in, so if you could all share the link for me and try and get a few more people into the chat, that would be great. That would absolutely be great. If we can get over 30 people in and push past 20 likes, we'll extend for another 5 minutes. Nick Muller, Ipswich won at last. Yes. Good for you, mate. I bet that winning feeling. If you got the meme from Wolf of Wall Street where Leonardo DiCaprio's walking out with his hands out, and it's like it would read Ipswich fans going into work on Monday. Well, I know we're going for Newport County because before last season we had 2 seasons of losing lots of games. So when we did win a game, we used to post that meme. Will Sol Campbell keep Macclesfield up? Early days. Most new managers tend to have an instant impact. It's just, you know, like I say, the blessing of the new manager. There's sometimes it's worth sacking them just to pick up the points that you get when a new manager comes in. But it depends if he can maintain it, because once he's settled there and the players are used to having him there, it may fall wayward for them. Rob Parsons, it was Mad Tuesday, shoes off if you love the port. I know we didn't really do that though, did we? It's a bit of a shame because it was so cold and I didn't want to take my shoes off, if I'm being honest. But it usually is a funny one. Someone said to me, Charlie Cooper, he had to walk home. I hope so. You know, I mean, he'd been earning a wage from us since he's been down, so walking home would have at least allowed him to earn it somewhat. Hello, Taff, my laptop is crashing. No worries, mate. We've got your new county top to look at, though, haven't you, Aidan? Come on, the port. Whose call was it to send Cooper back, county or FGR? It was obviously going to be counties because FGR got to pay his full wage now. There's no way, keep him. No, pay his wages for us. Like, no chance, no way. I was not there, had to work. So you had to work and they actually won without you. I think that's telling you something, Nick, that is, mate. You need to stay away. All right, Luke Wilkins, what do you think of Reading FC? Share a shit this year. Share a shit most years, mate. No, only joking. I know you like Reading, but not doing well this year, are they? Absolutely not. Should never have just sacked Yapstam. You know, I mean, you lost the playoff final. Yapstam couldn't, you know, replicate the season before, so you bloody sacked him. You know, I mean, you should have just stuck with him, given him the chance to sort of rebuild and make you stronger. I think that's been, you know, it's just your own downfall there, you know, sacking a good manager just because he's not winning all the time. RER Videos 1998. How do you feel about people who only come to the games when we win? To be honest with you, anyone who turns up to a county game, I'm happy. I'm really, really happy. So I'd rather them come more often, but I'd rather them come to, you know, games when we win rather than not come at all. You know what I mean? So yeah, if that makes sense. So Nick and Aidan are talking there. Next manager to be sacked in the Premier League is probably going to be Mourinho now, although I don't think he should be. I think he should be given the money to spend. Well, not so much the money to spend, but he should be given the control of who to bring in. Because how can you be a manager of a club when you haven't got control of who comes in? And then Aidan, yeah, I can imagine you want to give Reading fans some stick. Do it, Aidan and Luke, showdown. It's all. Did you like the games against Plymouth last year in the league? Did I like the games against Plymouth last year in the league? Hold on a minute. No, we didn't play Plymouth last year, did we? Rob Parsons never got to see the red card against Wrexham. It was not on the TV. Chris Ball should do the filming. Yes, good shout. I'd second that straight away. George WBA, hello to you too, my friend. How are you guys doing? As a season ticket holder in the Hazel Stand, am I guaranteed are you guaranteed your seat for the Leicester game? You should be. If your season ticket holders first, then obviously no one going to get your seat because they got their own seat, haven't they? Oh, year before, no, I didn't enjoy them because I think we got battered 6-1 against them the 1 year. And then the home game, we got robbed by the bloody ref, gave them 2 shitty penalties. Well, the first one was definitely a penalty, but he should never have sent Joe Day off. And then the second one was never a penalty. Right. Got your second win yesterday, Nick. Yeah. So everybody's talking about Ipswich at the moment and West Ham. What's happening with half-season ticket for the Leicester game? I believe you've got a half-season ticket. You've got a season ticket. So as long as it's currently valid for games, then I can't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to use it. So go straight down, mate. Do it. I think a lot of people bought half-season tickets last year for the sake of getting a ticket for Tottenham, to be honest. Aiden Fancius, well, obviously talking about West Brom and what's it? Oh, bloody Newcastle in it. Obviously swapped Gale for Rondon. Good move that, by the way, for both really, because West Brom have got a striker who scores goals in the Championship, and Newcastle got a striker who scores goals in the Premier League. I think that's a good swap, personally. Views on Link Flynn to Bristol Rovers. My view, he won't go there. Same here, definitely. At the Christmas party last night, and I've got to talk about that in a second, though, guys, because it was absolutely brilliant last night. But he was joking on the stage. Him and Gavin Foxall were doing a raffle, and he was joking about Bristol Rovers. So for me, you know, I don't think he's going there. Right, just so you know, guys, we've hit our 30 mark. 2 away from hitting our 20 mark, and then we'll go for 40 minutes. That'll be another 20 minutes. 2 likes. 2 likes, and oh, we just dropped the person. So we hit that 30 mark, so I'll honour that. But we were 1 like away. 1 like away. So yeah, Flynn won't go to Bristol Rovers, I don't think. Even though he is technically the favourite right now. I checked it this morning. He's 2-1 favourite. He won't go. Rob Parsons, I told you, if you've got a half-season ticket, you can have 2 tickets, but have this be the same age as the half-season ticket. I think that makes sense, actually, yeah. Although, as you're getting 2 tickets, and yeah, I think you got to come up with whatever's going to be the fairest, haven't you? So, right then. What else is there worth talking about in the world of football? Because obviously, like I say, these things, they do tend to get dominated by Newport County. Rightly so, really, because this is a Newport County channel, but we do like to talk about everything else, you know, Premier League. I mean, everybody, I tell you what, I'm going to put something to you, right? Everybody, let's have a debate. Let's have a full-on debate between ourselves right now, okay? And I'm going to ask you guys a question for once. How's about this then, right? Right. Who is the best Premier League team? The Man City Centurions or the Arsenal Invincibles? So I want to see what your views are on that. Who is the best, the Arsenal Invincibles or the Man City Centurions? Personally, I'm going with the Arsenal Invincibles. The reason being is that to go through a full Premier League season without losing a game is pretty spectacular. Even though Man City ended up getting more points than the Invincibles, it takes a lot of bottle to not lose any games. And Man City lost a few games during that season in the end. But, you know, to get 100 points is out of this world, and probably no one else would ever do it again. But to go through a full season and not lose a match, for me, has got to take it. But there's a lot of people out there that'll say the Centurions are the better because the amount of wins that they won more games than Arsenal. And yeah, that's a really good argument. But for me, it's got to be the Invincibles. There we go. So we've got the Invincibles. Man United Treblers now. Now we're talking Premier League team now. Man United Treblers obviously did good to win the treble as they did, but on a one-off, like the Man United's teams were obviously without doubt one of the best, sort of generation of teams in Premier League. But one season, we're talking about a one Premier League season. It's got to be the Invincibles or the Centurions. I mean, the Man United Treblers, fair play, would come for me a very close third, but that's it. So quite a few are saying the Invincibles. Man City, they may have lost, but they drew a fair few. Yeah, well, yeah, I know Arsenal drew a lot of games that season. For me, it just takes a lot of bottle to not lose any, Rich G, current views on Ronnie Parade and how long can you see Newport staying there? It's up in the air at the moment, mate. It depends on how we develop the club and the ownership of the club by the end of this season, whether we go with a hybrid model, whether we go with somebody coming and buying the club outright. But it looks as though the hybrid model's being favoured, and that's what we got to implement, and then we got to start working on our future then. So at the moment, we need Ronnie Parade until such a time as we do look to move on. My view is up the county. Arsenal may not have lost. WPA should have been the first team to win the double in '58. What happened? Did you not? Those vlogs up the O's. We got the Leighton Orient guy in. Yeah, happy days. City will win the league. No, I think it's going to be Liverpool for the league and City for the Champions League. Arsenal invincible. So we're pretty much going with the invincibles here, guys. West Ham for Europe. Win, 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 win. Yeah, why not? West Ham, you got some good players there, mate. Got a good manager too. Are Preston the only other team that go invincible? Possibly, but we're talking in the Premier League era. In the Premier League era, football is a lot more competitive. There's a lot more good teams out there. Where Preston would have been the best of not so much a bad bunch, of course not. To be champions, you've got to be great, and to go a season without losing a game, you've got to be great. But I think in this day and age, to go a full season without losing a game, especially during the Premier League era when the competition got cranked up so much since the Premier League came into it. But yeah, I think the Arsenal Invincibles have got to be, but very, very close between them and the Centurions, and then the United 99 treblers, of course. Prediction for Lincoln away next weekend, either a good point or a 4-5-0 loss, depends if we show up or not. If we show up, I think we'll give them a good game, but I'm not going to go up there and expect anything. When do you think the tickets will go, round 3 will go on sale? It'll be after Christmas, I think. City are the best team. Fair enough. I mean, there's a good arguments for both guys, isn't there? What would be your first 11 Prem team currently from all the teams in the league? Right, now this is something that we can do together, guys, actually, at some point. But then I've got quite a few things to get through first. How about we get through this? We get through these. Now, Swansea or Cardiff? Well, you've got to go with Cardiff, unfortunately, because they're above Swansea at the moment. Do you know the reason why the American Newport fans became Newport fans? Well, yeah, Gordon actually studied in the UK and is a football fan. Went to watch some Premier League games and felt the atmosphere wasn't good. Decided to go as Newport County on FIFA. Also picked up on our channel and decided that he wanted to become a Newport fan. And he managed to get a couple of his mates from California to jump on board with him. So fair play. And they're growing as well. No, they're getting a few involved in it. It's really good to see. Paul Dixon's, is this the chance for the club to put themselves in the shop window for outside investment? Yes, good point. BBC broadcasting the game in January and with the world watching Leicester. Absolutely. Paul Dixon, you make a very, very good point. It's a very good question. If you would have brought that question in last week, that could have won it for me. That could have won the signed shirt. Aidan, you want to thank Paul for not turning up last week with this question. It's a very, very good opportunity to put the club in the shop window for outside investment, and it'll make the transition to the hybrid model a lot easier if there's people queuing up interested. Right, well, Paz, at the moment the fans seem to have a good relationship with the county. If we start to climb the leagues, do you think this will change? Yes, it would, unfortunately, but that's just the nature of it. The higher you get, the bigger the club gets, the more segregated the players and the fans need to be. It's unfortunate because when there's the numbers that we got going on a regular basis, it's all right for them to be friendly with the fans. But then when you got tens of thousands of people turning up every week, it's difficult, to maintain a sort of friendship with all the fans when you got thousands of them. You understand what I mean? Who would you rather, Swansea? Obviously Swansea because Cardiff are our closest rivals, really. But at the moment, Cardiff are doing better than Swansea, of course. I'm very much a together stronger advocate, though. I don't despise any Welsh team. I want to see all the Welsh teams do well for the good of the Welsh international team. Paul Dixon, new contracts for players. Podge mentioned this to the media. Apparently, we're talking to them. We got to keep them. We got to. And talking to a couple of them last night, and I said I was going to mention this. Christmas party was ace. And the county players, fair play to them, they all stopped and talked to all the fans and they made time for everybody. Especially the likes of Demetriou, Jamil Matt, Fraser Franks. Who else was down there with us? Butler was down there with us, Labardi. Oh, they were great. They were absolutely brilliant. Had time for everybody, talked to everybody, had pictures with everybody. It was great. Snodgrass, yeah, how good is he getting already? No, I thought he was finished. If you had to get any player from the Prem, who would you sign? Well, for Newport County, if we're being realistic, there's not really many players out there that would join us. But if we could just take someone, at the moment, I'd say Eden Hazard. All right then. So the thing about a Premier League 11, all-time 11. Now, If you guys are happy to spend our last 10 minutes working on this together to put out a Premier League all-time 11, then what do you reckon? Should we do it? Who wants to do it? Anyway, who wants to do it? The all-time Premier League 11. Together we do it now. We will go through all the positions for the next sort of 10 minutes. Will the local council now stand up and listen to the county with investment? I think so, yeah. Aidan didn't realise the sign shirt was a 5XL. It's because it belonged to Rob Parsons beforehand, mate. None George, all overpaid. Premier League players. Yeah, well, Ipswich were a Premier League team, mate, you know. Rob Parsons, what? So, who's been there when Rob Parsons does his what thing? I'll tell you what, it absolutely rattles my brain, it does. And you feel like punching him in the throat when he does it. Paul Dixon, Merry Christmas to all football fans. There we go. You know, you got to enjoy it when you got people like Paul in, you know, putting out nice messages like that. So, yeah, it's brilliant. But then my Merry Christmases are going to be next week's stream, which is going to be on the 23rd of December. Ooh, can't believe that. Will you do podcasts over Christmas? Well, the 23rd, yes, I'll be doing my live stream next Sunday. And obviously then we'll end up putting out a couple of videos, hopefully over the Christmas period. Well, on Boxing Day, we'll be Forest Green at home, so yeah, we'll put some videos out. But the way it's scheduled, I can't see any reason why we wouldn't, you know, keep doing, you know, the Sunday streams and things like that. So yeah, no, it'll be business as usual for the Amber Army, of course. So yeah, the all-time Premier League 11 guys. We're doing it. We're going to start with goalkeeper. I'm going to put some nominations out who I think would be goalkeeper, best goalkeeper Premier League. Rob Parsons said who I would have said first is Schmeichel. But then there's also Petr Cech. Petr Cech could be considered in that. Edwin van der Sar could be considered in that. I mean, we've got to talk about a few of them, haven't we, first before we decide. Although it's pretty obvious who it's going to be. So are we going to say Schmeichel's going to be the goalkeeper? Yeah. I think we got to go 4-4-2. I mean, it's the best way of doing it. Two strikers, two wingers, two fullbacks, two centre midfielders, two centre backs. So Schmeichel's going to be the goalkeeper, yeah? Great. Schmeichel in goal. Right back for me is more than likely going to be Gary Neville. Although, let's have a little think about this one though. Is Gary Neville as a possibility? There's Lee Dixon potentially. There's Lauren. I don't think there's been really any. Vidic could be contender for CB potentially, yes. Although I think centre backs are probably going to be someone like John Terry and Rio Ferdinand. You know, I think maybe one of them two would make it. But right, so right back, I'm thinking Gary Neville. Josh Vlogs, why did the match get cancelled? Because it rained like a bitch. Tony Adams, that's a good shade. Tony Adams, Jamie Carragher would be a good shade. Ogbonna and James Collins, behave, Aiden. Come on, mate. So even West Ham have had better defenders. Well, James Collins is quality, obviously, because he's a Newport lad. But there we go. So right back will probably have to be Gary Neville. Centre backs, I'm thinking, you know, you're thinking John Terry. Thinking Vidic would be a shout. Rio Ferdinand, I think, would probably be the more likely. But then you got the likes of Sammy Hupia. They've got to get some consideration. Who else? Carvalho should be considered. I think Colin Hendry should be considered. Who else is out there? As I said, Tony Adams and Martin Keown were brilliant. Kolo Toure, Vincent Kompany. Just Premier League era, Eden. Premier League, best Premier League 11. So I'm considering going for John Terry and Rio Ferdinand myself. I mean, any objections to that? Because then we can move on to left back. Then we've got 5 minutes. We've got 6 minutes then to do the midfield and strikers and left back. So what do you reckon, guys? You happy with Rio Ferdinand and John Terry? Rio Ferdinand and John Terry, yes. We're going to go ahead and assume yes. There we go. That'll do, George. Thank you. Left back for me. You're thinking possibly Leighton Baines is a very good shout, actually. although I don't think he'll quite get it. I think Ashley Cole would be the one. Ashley Cole, Patrice Evra. Who else could you consider? I think you've got to look at Ashley Cole, haven't you? Baines is very underrated, George. You're right there. But I'm thinking, is Ashley Cole? Yeah, I think we've got to go with Ashley Cole, haven't we? Think about that now. So far, the defence is all English as well. Bloody hell. Julian Dix was absolute garbage, mate. Sorry. I like Liverpool, and he was crap for Liverpool. So there we go. That's our back four on goalkeeper done. With 5 minutes left to do the rest of the team now. So right winger, I'd go with Cristiano Ronaldo for right winger. You got to go. I know Ronaldo could be in up front, but then there's too many good strikers. Vieira, CM, good shout. Yeah, Vieira's got to be in the mix. Roy Keane, Steven Gerrard, Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard, Kanchelskis. No, I don't think he was quite. I don't think he beats. What's his name? Well, Giggs is left wing. Giggs has got to take left wing. Yeah, Giggs left wing. Right wing has got to be, in my opinion, right wing has got to be Ronaldo. Centre midfielders. Would you object to? Get this now. Would you object to Gerrard and Vieira as central midfielders? Going Ronaldo right wing, Giggs left wing, Gerrard and Vieira centre mid. Well, we got Vieira and Lampard. Scholes has been thrown in. I think Vieira's taken it. I think Vieira's definitely taken it there, haven't he? But then Henrik Larsson, I tell you what, right? I'd have loved it if he'd played in the Premier League a bit longer. I know he had that little spell at United, but if he'd have been a Premier League striker, he may have done. He may have been in the conversation for forward, but I'm going Ronaldo right wing. Left wing is going to be Giggs. Vieira's obviously taken it because you guys have mentioned Vieira more than anyone. Though Scholes has had a mention. I've mentioned Gerrard, and so has Lampard. So I'm saying it's going to be between them three. Scholes, Lampard and Gerrard. What are you guys saying? So I want to see who mentions one of those three. Gerrard, Lampard and Scholes. Who's going to mention the one? Who's going to be the one? Although it's Roy Keane. I think Roy Keane and Vieira are very similar players. So Rob Parsons, you've already mentioned Scholes, mate. We've already had you up above there. So somebody else who hasn't mentioned. So George is saying Scholes. Are we going to have to go with Scholes? I'd love to have Gerrard in there, like personally, because I like Liverpool. But this can't be biased. This has to be right. And Scholes has taken it. Vieira and Scholes is a very good centre midfield pairing. Now onto the strikers. Now the strikers for me, Shearer and Henry. Shearer is mentioned there by George. Henry's got to be the other one, haven't he? I mean, you can't look past Henry. For the Cantona's a good shape, but I think Vieira, I think Henry and Shearer, Cantona maybe, Shearer and Henry definitely. Cantona would be very, very close on there. Shearer and Henry, I think, guys. And there's our Premier League 11, isn't it? It's got to be. So Schmeichel. So we got, so Paul, Zola's a good shape. Rooney has to have a shape. I think Rooney has to have a shape, but I just don't think Rooney versus Shearer and Rooney versus Henry. We've got to see. Rooney would be a bench, as Jay Friel says there. Rooney's got to be the bench, hasn't he? But then we're not working at a bench here. We're working at our starting 11. So there we go. So we got Schmeichel. So we got. So would someone be able to actually put it out? Put it out on here. That would be great if we could see that. If we could actually see it come up. Someone could put the team that we just come up with. So Schmeichel, Neville, Ashley Cole, Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Vieira, Scholes, Giggs, Ronaldo, Henry, Shearer. That's the all-time Premier League 11, guys. There we go. And that brings us up to our final minute, so we can say our goodbyes. Manager. Oh, there's only one manager, isn't it? I mean, Drogba, there's a really good shape there. But unfortunately, again, Drogba versus Shearer. Drogba versus Henry. But Drogba's a really good. Martin, Gary Kelly, Ferdinand, Woodgate. Well, Martin I quite like. Gary Kelly, if you're looking for an underrated Premier League 11, Gary Kelly would be your right back there, definitely. But Brendan Rodgers, nearly won the league, didn't he? Nearly, almost got there. Did really good with Swansea though, fair play to him. But yeah, this is where we're going to start wrapping it up, guys. Really, really good Premier League 11 there, guys, and a nice little debate on who was the best Premier League team of all time, you know, for one season. The Man City Centurions or the Arsenal Invincibles. Look like the Invincibles took it on that. All the best, Paul. Thanks for tuning in, mate. And thank you all for tuning in. You know, it's been a really good stream. I've really enjoyed it tonight, and it's flown by, isn't it, as well? 40 minutes has just gone just like that. But 24 likes. We had over 30 people in. Hoping that we're going to push this past. I mean, we've got to over 2,000 subscribers now. We should be looking to try and get some more people in here. Maybe I've got to do something a little bit better. So here we go. We got Schmeichel, Neville, Rio, Terry, Cole, Cristiano Ronaldo, Scholes, Vieira, Giggs, Shearer, Henry. What a team that would have been. That team would have beaten anyone, you know. But anyway, time to say goodnight now, guys. Thanks all for tuning in. Thanks all for your contribution. And we'll see you again same time next week. Thanks all. Cheerio for now. And as always, up the county.